Hey, welcome to our kitchen. I'm Leah.
And I'm Chris.
And we are going to cook some stuffed shells for you guys today. We got this idea to test out recipes when I was making mac and cheese one night. And the mac and cheese took so much longer to make than what the recipe actually says. So we are going to test the recipe to see how long it takes to actually do it by the actual prep. The actual time says on Pinterest or whatever recipe you're using. So we are actually going to use a recipe from Pinterest. It's from Will Cook for Smiles is the one that put the recipe on Pinterest, and we will link the recipe down below in the description box. We are going to make ricotta stuffed shells. Chose this recipe because stuffed shells are something that usually take a long time to make, so or at least prep. So we are going to get started. So the first thing we're going to do is boil the water. Chris is going to start the time.
I'm going to start the time.
You're good.
And just let it sit, and we're going to get going.
We'll pause it when we pause to talk, so you know, the time isn't skewed by us talking to you and making it longer than it actually takes to make the recipe. So we're going to start boiling the shells, and we will come back with the next step in the recipe. According to this recipe, it says that the prep time is 15 minutes, the cook time is 35 minutes, so the total time is 50 minutes. So I guess we'll see how long it actually takes to prep. Obviously the cook time is going to be pretty close to what it really is, but the prep time is usually what takes so much longer than what it actually says on your recipe. Chris is getting stuff out of the fridge, so we are obviously including that in the time that it takes to make the recipe. So this recipe calls for ricotta, mozzarella, Parmesan cheese, an egg,
Un egg.
and out of the cabinets we need parsley, basil, oregano, salt, and pepper. So we're going to cook the pasta to the directions on the box, and then we're going to start shredding the cheese is the next step that takes the longest. So we're going to do that next. So Chris is going to shred up the mozzarella cheese. We need 8 ounces of shredded mozzarella, and we have started the time back again to see how long it actually takes to shred up all the cheese. Chris is shredding up half a cup of Parmesan cheese on the small shredder side of the, what is this called? Cheese grater.
Cheese grater.
The Cuisinart cheese grater.
How do you know what a half a cup is?
You guess.
That's probably it.
Okay.
That's a half a cup.
Quarter cup. So this is a quarter.
Un quarter.
Another quarter. Perfect, honey.
Wow, Chris.
All right. So I'm over here peeling the garlic. It says to use pressed garlic, but we do not have a garlic press. So I'm just going to do a rough chop on the garlic. I did a rough chop on the garlic, and now we are going to add all of our ingredients to this bowl right here and mix it up, and this is the stuffing for the shells. So we are going to do 15 ounces of ricotta according to this. All right, so 15 ounces of ricotta is roughly 2 cups of ricotta, so I'm just going to measure out 2 cups.
We use Rizzoni. They are a sponsor of the show.
Yeah, right. Okay.
We're gonna have to bleep them out.
If you're watching this, we could really
If you're from Rizzoni, just forget it.
Alright, so this is an entire box of Ronzoni. Large shells, 12 ounces, and we're adding the entire thing.
Now I'm going to add all the shredded mozzarella. So Parmesan, the garlic, basically everything on this cutting board that we had, we're going to go put in this. The egg.
Skills.
1 tablespoon of parsley.
I tell you, it's 10 minutes.
1 tablespoon basil. Be nice and get that right.
I was wondering how people do that. You just open up the cap. You don't dump it out.
For real?
I was like, it's sort of hard to measure out of that. Oh, you take off the cap.
Cooking for amateurs.
That's pretty funny.
Cooking for dummies.
You're learning, Aaron. Stuff you didn't even know you needed to know. Alright. And 1 teaspoon of oregano.
Jiggy.
We have
Wiki, wiki.
everything mixed together, and then you're just gonna add salt and pepper to taste. So however much you think you need, I'll probably just sprinkle some in there. A little bit of pepper. And then we're gonna mix all of this together, it says. And just so you know, we're already over the 15 minutes that it said it was gonna take to prep this. So it's 15 minutes to shred cheese and boil water and mix up a filling, basically. Not anything to do with stuffing the shells, which we all know takes a long time. So Chris is gonna shred up another 1/3 of a cup or so of the mozzarella cheese, because it says that we're gonna have to top the shells with some mozzarella, so we're just gonna shred that up real quick. And then we're gonna start stuffing the shells. Before we stuff the shells, we're going to put marinara sauce in the bottom of a 9x13 baking dish. 1.5 to 2 tablespoons per shell. So I'm going to go ahead and stuff all these shells, and we will get back to you.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so we stuffed all the shells. So that took probably about 5 minutes, but Chris and I were both doing it, so obviously it's going to take a little bit longer if you are by yourself. And then we're going to top all of the shells with the 1/3 of a cup of mozzarella cheese. So it's been roughly 25 minutes for us to prep the whole thing and get it ready to go in the oven. The recipe actually says it's going to take 20 to 25 minutes to cook the shells. So we're going to go ahead and put them in the oven. Yeah. It's fine.
And you don't need to
Okay,
cover
good.
it.
So it's been almost 30 minutes since we put the shells in the oven, and they looked golden brown to me. So Chris is going to go ahead and take them out. So the recipe said 20 to 25 minutes in the oven, and it took us about 30. So it ended up taking about 55 minutes and 44 seconds, or about 56 minutes for us to cook this recipe. From the beginning said it would take 50 minutes of total time. So the prep time, again, said 15 minutes and took us about 25, but the cook time said 35 and it only cooked for 30. So it's a little bit skewed as far as, you know, how long it actually takes to prepare the meal, but total time came out to just about 5-6 minutes over what the total time was. So that's actually pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Better than I thought.
And that's with 2 people.
2 people. So
Yeah.
obviously if you're cooking it by yourself, it's going to take a little bit longer. Again, this recipe was from Will Cook for Smiles. We will have it linked in the description box below.
You want me to be serious or?
Is it good?
It was good. No.
Yeah.
Tastes a lot of the like spices.
The herbs.
Yeah. Tastes
Well-
a lot of like the oregano.
What would you give it? Out of 1 to 10.
1 to 10. Are we doing rookie scores or are we doing?
We're doing, you're not a professional chef.
No, I'm talking about, you know, is it going to be 1 through 10, no decimals?
No decimals. Well, you
We
do
gotta do
whatever you
decimals.
want. All right, fine, decimals.
You ever watch that? The Barstool? Pizza reviews? You guys? Oh. I don't know, it's like good. Good. It's got a lot of flavor.
Mhm.
I would say it's like the undercook actually helps out.
Yeah.
Cheese is good. Like 7.6.
7.6. All right.
It's good. Definitely something I would eat again.
Okay. If you guys want us to test out any recipes for you before you test them yourselves, you can leave a suggestion as a comment below.
Thanks for watching our kitchen.
See you next time.